Today, I'm going to show you how to make this easy DIY envelope tuck fun fold card. I have a free project sheet linked down in the video description for you below, and it's also going to contain a template. Hi, and welcome to Lisa's Stamp Studio. I'm Lisa Curcio. I'm so glad that you're here with me. Don't forget the template. It's linked down in the video description for you below. It's going to lead you over to pictures, cutting dimensions, and supplies. Not just for the card I just shared with you, but I have several others as well. All right, we're ready. Let's get started. The card base is your typical 5.5 by 8.5. And along the 8.5 inch side, we're going to do a very simple score line at 4 1/4. So I'm just lining that up against the ledge using that light blade for scoring. The next piece is also strawberry slush cardstock. This measures 3.5 by 5.5, and we're going to make some tick marks using a pencil. We're going to find the halfway point, which is 2 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to use my pencil right between that clear cutting guide and make a mark. I'm going to open this up and I'm going to pivot the cardstock, and I'm going to line it up at 1 3/4 of an inch. Once again, we'll use the pencil and we'll make a mark here at the top and here at the bottom. In essence, all we're going to do is we're going to cut from each of these lines to make a point. The clear cutting guide also includes a cutting blade so I can keep them both on the track at the same time. I'm going to navigate this so that this is going to fall in that black strip where the blade is going to travel. Once I'm happy with it, we'll go ahead and we'll slice. We're going to do the exact same thing now on this side. I'm looking to line the points here, and then we'll slice. Once that's finished, we need to do one additional score line. On the straight edge here, I want you to turn it, and I want you to line it up at 3/4 of an inch. Close that door and then just score. I'll go ahead and I'll use my pencil now to erase the pencil marks. I'm going to crease on this so that you can see it a little bit better. I've chosen to use an embossing folder on this area. I've got several other samples to share with you, and they've all got different variations. This brand new embossing folder is coming out on March 3rd. It's called Lazy Days. It is a 3D dynamic folder, which means it's going to leave a beautiful deep impression. We're going to go ahead and we're going to emboss just the flap area, not that 3/4 inch area. So all you're going to do is open up the folder, and you're going to line up the cardstock so that the edge of the embossing folder is on that score line. Let's go ahead and let's run this through the embossing machine. I've just done that. We're going to go ahead and pull that out, and you'll see that it's embossed just here on the front. Really pretty. Now, if you prefer, you can use the debossed side. There's no right or wrong to that. I'm going to take my bone folder, and I'm going to make sure that these ends are nice and straight, and I'm going to reinforce just that score line. I want to be careful not to deboss the image. Coming back here to the card base, we are actually going to fold this backwards. So we're going to fold the two raw ends to the left. Now is a good time to make sure they're nice and even, and then go over it with your bone folder. This is going to open backwards to the typical card. So this is going to be the front now with the raw ends to the left. I'm using the new Homemade Sweetness Designer Series paper, double-sided like all the Stampin' Up! Papers. Again, these products are all coming out on March 3rd. I'm going to add some liquid glue here to the back side, and this now will get centered here on the front of the card. While the card is flat, let's go ahead and let's open it up. And as I mentioned, it's backwards. So this now is going to be the area to write and sign. Now, I did do this ahead of time, and I stamped it, and I used a little bit more of that Designer Series paper. That brand new bundle coming out on March 3rd is called Filled with Sweetness, so stamps and coordinating dies, and of course, that adorable Handmade Sweetness Designer Series paper that coordinates with it. I'm going to take this, I'm going to add some liquid glue to the back side. That now is going to get adhered here, leaving a nice border all the way around. On the other side, you can leave it plain, but I'm going to add some Designer Series paper from the exact same package. And I love the double-sided patterns because it gives you lots of options on what to use these papers for. So you can see that it's not always necessarily themed like the package. And this is going to get centered here. Now you can certainly leave this plain, but I'm going to gussy them up on all the samples I'm going to share with you today. This was cut using my scissors from the Designer Series paper. Again, lots of patterns, so you have lots of options. We'll go ahead and add some liquid glue, and I'm going to add this now here down to the lower right. Now that the card base is finished, we're going to go back and we're going to fold this up, and we're going to work on the flap. This is very much like an envelope flap. We're going to open this up, and this is where the liquid glue is going to go. I'm going to add some glue here, and I have found with all the different adhesives I've tried for this fold, this works the best because I've got a little bit of time before it dries, and that allows me to shimmy it. Lay this flat on your work surface. The raw ends now are going to go right near the crease. You want to make sure the top and the bottom are aligned, but you want to make sure it's not too bulky, that it's going to close very well. And then you can go ahead and press that in place. Now I decided to add a little ribbon here, and I found lots of ways to do this, but the easiest is actually using some tear and tape on the ribbon. This brand new checkered ribbon is coming out on March 3rd as well to coordinate with the suite. You can add the tear and tape directly to the ribbon, or you can add it directly to the cardstock, which I found to be the easiest. So let's go ahead and let's open this up. I'm going to pull off some tape, and I'm going to line it near the crease, not right against it, but near it, because you want to make sure the ribbon is not going to prohibit this from closing. When I get to the end, I'm just going to rip. Make sure you burnish that paper backing down inside. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool with that paper piercing tool attachment, and I'm going to remove that paper backing. I'll take my ribbon now, and I'm going to lay it right on top of that tear and tape. Make sure that you're very careful to cover up the whole tape because you don't want any stickiness to stick to the inside of the card. Once that's in place, go ahead and close the flap. You're going to bring the ends of the ribbon up, and you're going to add a little bit more of tear and tape where you want this to land. Now you're going to want it near the outside edge. I found that easier again than placing it on the ribbon. So I'm going to close that. I'm going to add my tear and tape here. Once again, when you get to the end, just put your finger there and rip. Burnish that paper backing in once again and remove the paper backing. I'm going to bring the bottom ribbon up, making sure that I've covered the tear and tape well. And now here at the top, I'm going to add a little bit here at the top so I've got an area to tie a bow. So we're just going to come around. Now that it's all tacked down, it's going to be a lot easier. You don't have to wrestle with those ends. I'm going to press that all in place, and now we'll just make the bow. If you're like me and your bow loops are uneven, I've got a great tip for you. Either pinch or press on the knot, and then you can carefully readjust the loops. They're nice and even. I'll come in with my scissors and I'll give those ends a little bit of a trim. Now we're going to work on the closure. That's going to allow this to tuck. I have a scrap piece of basic white cardstock here, and I'm using black memento ink. I've pulled out the strawberry image from that stamp set. We'll go ahead and ink that up, and we're going to stamp that here. If you've not used Stampin' Blend's alcohol-based markers before, I want to give you just a couple tips. There's a light and a dark shade, and they correlate with the colors of all the Stampin' Up! Palette. So they're going to match the cardstock, the designer series paper, and the accessories, which makes color coordinating your projects super easy. The markers are dual-ended. You can use the size tip you prefer. For this, it's a larger area, so I'm going to use the brush tip. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to just color a little bit of the strawberry for you. Don't be afraid to leave some white areas. That'll create a natural highlight. Now I'm going to come over to the dark. This is the same strawberry slush. I'm going to work some underneath these leaves because I know that's going to be the darkest shaded area. I'm going to choose to drag some color down here and a little bit up the side and a little bit more shading here. I'm looking as if the light source is coming from this way. I'm going to come in now with the light and I'm going to blend these two colors together, but I'm not going to go over all of it. What I love about this is you're going to have light and dark areas naturally. I went ahead and I colored the stem and I used the coordinating dies to die cut one for you. Also, before you joined me, I went ahead and I die cut one of the labels from the die set from basic white cardstock. I'm going to be using the Misty Moonlight ink, which is the coordinating color to the ribbon and the designer series paper. I've pulled out the words, "Love you very much." This stamp set would be fantastic if you're a scrapbooker as well. That's going to get stamped right here. I'm going to take that strawberry and I'm going to attach it here near the bottom. I'll be using my reversible tweezers to help extend my reach. Flipping that over, we'll just add a little glue in that area. That now is going to get placed here. Also from the die set, you've got some flowers here and of course a bow and labels and spoons, all kinds of fun things that you can make. I went ahead and I die cut a flower from basic white cardstock. I'm going to take my flower with my reversible tweezers, and then once again, we're going to add some liquid glue to the back side. This now will get adhered here. We'll fill that area with an adorable embellishment in just a few minutes, but this is now going to create the closure for the card for the tuck envelope flap. I'm going to close the card base. I'm going to visually hold this for you so that you can see. You're going to notice that the point is going to fall somewhere around here. So it's going to be very important that you do not place dimensionals where that area is going to fall. Otherwise, it's going to impede on the tuck. So I'm going to place them here, 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 and on the back of the strawberry. So I'm going to flip this upside down. I've got my dimensionals here, and I'll add them to the strawberry and to that left side. Now that they're in place, I'm going to remove that paper backing. With my fingers near that area so that I know where it's at, I'm going to line this up and I'm going to adhere it to the front of the card base, making sure that the flap is nice and flat. If you've done it correctly, this should be able to open and pivot from underneath that image or that greeting. The best thing I can tell you is if you find you need more dimensionals, which I do here, we're going to do a little bit of card surgery. So I'm going to put this back down inside. I'm going to come over here to my dimensionals. I'm going to remove one of the paper backings. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to extend my reach so I can add another one here near the top. Finally, I'm using these brand new garden epoxy dots. So I'm going to go ahead and take one of these, which is the crushed curry color that's here, and that's going to create some coordination to everything. They have glue dots already on the back, which makes them easy to use. Now, since this has been embossed with an embossing folder, the cardstock has already been conditioned, which makes this really easy to open and to display. And it will stand up straight for display on their table. I've got several other samples to share with you with variations. This next one is using brand new product as well, coming out on March 3rd. It's called Delicate Whispers. Very pretty with coordinating dies. It also has coordinating designer series paper. The paper is called Delicate Dreams, and it creates a beautiful linen finish on some of the patterns and gorgeous copper finishes on the other. I used the branching out dies to create the label here that's going to house my images. And it's one of my favorite die sets because of the graduating sizes. I've done a lot more embellishing on this one where this card is quite simple. Unlike this one, I did not emboss the flap. I made the flap from the same color as the card base, traced it on designer series paper, and then cut around it. So there's actually 2 layers here. Now I did that versus cutting them independently because we can never cut the same angle exactly the same twice. That's going to be a lot easier for you. Once I had that done, I glued them together, which reinforced this. I went ahead and I broke down the fibers of this by just pressing my hands against that flat. That creates a little bit of a curvature, which makes it a lot easier to tuck underneath. I use beautiful bronze copper embossing powder, some designer series paper flowers. This paper is stunning and added some gems. Now the inside I made a little bit fancier, more paper from the Delicate Dreams, and it's a beautiful Get Well card. I have one other for you. This one uses the Cutest Crew Bundle, stamps and cording dies. This has some great accessory pieces that you'll see used on this next card. I used the exact same designer series paper package as this one. The reverse side is very versatile, and I thought this was a fantastic birthday card for a little boy. I used the coordinating dies here across the top because, unlike this one where I traced the designer series paper from the cardstock flap, I layered that. And you'll notice that it's very difficult to get that exact same flap angle. So what I did is I used the coordinating dies to create a decorative border to create visual interest. I've got the dimensions for you on this as well as all the cards inside the project sheet for you. You're also going to notice that this card is a different orientation. So this one is landscape while these are portrait. And I stamped the images from the stamp set. I colored them in with Stampin' Blend's alcohol-based markers. When I open this card, you'll see that I decided to put designer series paper here at the top to coordinate and the bottom area here for writing and signing. So I stamped the happy birthday, added some more die cut embellishments, super cute. Whether you decide to make your card landscape or portrait, here are 3 great ideas for you. I always love to know which one of those cards is your favorite. Do me a favor and leave me a comment now. Your feedback is super important to me as I design new projects for you. And if you love to know about free shipping promotions and sales, we've got you covered here. Head over to my website and scroll to the bottom and fill out that little form. In addition to keep you inspired every single week, I'm going to keep you updated on what's happening. If you love exclusive card making ideas, I've got you covered with Stamp Studio memberships. There are 2 levels to choose from, and best of all, it doesn't matter what country you live in. All of the tutorials are exclusive to my members, and guess what? Nothing is watermarked. So if you're looking to share these in classes or clubs, I've got you covered. Level 1 is $5 a month, and as I said, it includes pictures, cutting dimensions, supplies, and step-by-step instructions for a brand new project every single week that comes to your inbox at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. But if you like fun folds, I've got you covered in level 2. In addition to everything in level 1, every month you'll get a brand new fun fold card making idea. I'll include step-by-step instructions, pictures, cutting dimensions, and supplies as well. And everyone in level 2 automatically receives a discount code for my PDF tutorial library. And we choose 5 random product winners every single month. You can find all the information over on my website in the red menu bar titled Memberships. Before you go, make sure you click on one of these videos so I can keep you inspired, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.